Right guys, I'm back and today, or in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make ragu, and ultimately I'm going to be making lasagna, but I'm going to do those in 3 different videos or in separate series of videos, and I'll put them all together when you can put them all together when you're making lasagna. But today, or now in this video, we are going to be making a ragu. Now I'm making a very traditional ragu, and that entails a whole, well, it's cooked with love, guys. It's cooked for a long period of time. So let's go. So the first thing that I've got in my pan here, I like cooking in a cast iron pan. It's a Dutch oven, because I can put it into the oven and then not have to worry about things being left on the stove. So I can cook it for a long time inside the oven rather than trying to watch and make sure it doesn't burn. So in here I've got some butter and I've got some oil. Now it's important to have a combination of butter and oil because the oil actually lowers the burning temperature of the butter. The butter is there for flavor, really. So I've got that into my pan. I'm going to switch that on. I'm only going to put it on a medium heat. I do not need it on a high heat. And then I'm going to saute my vegetables, and I'll come back when that's done. Right. Sorry. So there we've got it. Our oil is heating up and you can see it's starting to sizzle. I don't want it too high, so I'm actually going to turn that temperature down a little. Now guys, when we make a classic ragu, we start off with a mirepoix, and that is starting off with butter and oil. We are going to start with 2 parts onion to 1 part celery and 1 part carrots. So I'm going to add that in. Now again, this is a traditional way of making it, and we do not want to brown the vegetables. If you do want to make it a very quick one, then of course you could use the quick method and just go ahead and fry your vegetables as you want. But because we're doing it the traditional way and it's a long slow cook, guys, you can do it the fast way. It'll taste good. This just gives it that extra little bit of flavor, and that's what I want to achieve today. So I've got all my vegetables in, and I'm just going to move those around. Right, now I'm going to let those fry very, very gently, and I'm going to let them fry for about 15 minutes, guys. I've seen a few pieces that are a bit big, but I'm just going to pick out. And once that's done, I'll come back and show you. Right guys, so now you can see that the vegetables are cooked. I've actually added some green yellow pepper because I like them, and I like them in any ragu really. But you can see that the vegetables have changed color. They've gone translucent, especially the onions, and that's when you want to stop. Now I'm going to actually move this into another pot, and then we're going to do the meat. Right, so my pan is still warm and it started coloring now because the sugars from the vegetables have been left in the pan. So I'm going to, now guys, you don't have to add this. This is a traditional recipe. You can just make it with meat, but I love the flavor of the bacon in it. So I start off with bacon, and then I'm going to add the meat. So what I have is I have a combination of beef and pork. And again, guys, this is a personal preference. And guys, please remember, I'm making a huge quantity because what I do is I normally make one for today and I make one to freeze. So I always make double the recipes. You're going to do the same amount of work and the same amount of cooking for one. And so I always make 2 at the same time. And it just saves me some time when I come home from work late and I'm tired and I just want to be able to take something and put it in the oven. You can cook lasagna from frozen on a low temperature and then turn up the temperature to high when you're ready. So I'm going to crumble in the beef, and I'm going to crumble in the pork, and then guys, I'm going to cook it until the meat changes color, and all the juices, always a good thing. Right guys, so that's what it looks like now, and I've got the meat. It's not browned, it's just cooked. And now what I'm going to add is, again guys, you do not need to use wine. I like the flavor that it gives it, so I'm going to pop some wine in mine, and then I'm going to add the tomato paste. And I'm going to cook that off until most of the juices have evaporated. And the reason for that again is, A, you want the alcohol to disappear. You actually just want the flavor of the wine. And then once that's happened, we're going to add the other ingredients. But you want it to be concentrated, so you actually want all that liquid to disappear. You want the flavors of what we're going to add next to be the most important flavors, the most prevalent flavors. So you can see that's got quite a lot of liquid in it now, and I will show you what it looks like when we come back. Alright guys, so now you can see, I'm sorry, the sun is in my kitchen, it's coming just at the wrong angle now, but you can see that almost all the liquid has evaporated. So now what I'm going to do is, firstly I'm going to transfer it to another pot, because I need a bigger pot for the rest of it and to add the liquids. So I'll show you what that looks like. Right guys, so I've changed it to a larger pot, just purely because I have a double mixture, and I didn't think about that at the beginning. So now what I'm going to add is now I like bay leaves. You do not need to add bay leaves to yours. But I like them, so I'm going to throw those in. I have got some thyme, and I'm just going to sprinkle that over, and I've got some oregano, and that's going to go in. I have got, again, you can just use stock, but I like using tomato puree. So, well, canned tomatoes, and I've put them in the food processor, because I like them to be smooth. Right, I use some additional water just to rinse out all the little bits, so we don't waste anything, guys. Right guys, so that's all done. The last thing I'm going to add, now guys, you can add a liquid stock, but I've added my water with my tomatoes, and you can make a liquid stock instead of adding tomatoes and just add some stock. Now I like using chicken, a mixture of chicken and vegetable, and then I'm going to sprinkle in some salt, not too much guys, because you can always adjust the seasoning afterwards, and I like a good dash of pepper, so I'm going to add that in. So I've got my herbs and my spices, and then the last thing that I'm going to add, which is a little trick, is some full cream milk. Guys, and that, I promise you, changes the texture of the meat so much. It makes it softer and richer. It really does make a difference. So I'm going to stir that in, and you'll see what it looks like. So now you have this lovely juicy mixture. But what I'm going to do is, well, now it cooks for about 2 hours, and you can leave it on the stove. It's absolutely fine. Just leave it on a very low heat. Put the lid on, and then just keep checking it every now and then. Stir it, and then you can add some liquid if you need to. Don't let it get stuck to the bottom. Tomato gets stuck very easily and can get burned very easily on the bottom, so always give it a good stir if you're leaving it on the stove top. But a good tip, guys, is once everything is to the boil and it's simmering nicely, I pop the lid on mine, which is also why I make it in an oven-proof dish. I put the lid on mine, and then I put it in the oven at a low temperature, and I can just leave it. I don't have to worry about it. Every now and then I will check on the liquid content just to make sure that it hasn't gone too dry. Because with lasagna, guys, we want the mixture to be a very thick mixture. We do not want a runny mixture. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the oven for 2 hours, and while that's happening I'm going to be making my pasta and my white sauce, but I'll do that in separate videos. See you later, guys. Alright guys, so that's after cooking for 2 hours in the oven, and you can see that all the fat, well, not all the fat, this is not a skinny dish, guys, so if you're trying to lose weight, this is not the way to go. But all the fat has sort of risen to the top, and when it's cool you can actually just scoop that up with a metal spoon. It is easier. But you can see that it's really become thick and an absolutely gorgeous sauce. So the last thing that we do is we fish out the bay leaves, because you don't want to get one of those, trust me. And I put 2 in, so I will make sure that I get 2 out again. And then you can cool this down, and you can use this for anything, guys. You can use it for spaghetti, you can use it as a pasta sauce, you can use it for absolutely anything, as the base sauce to anything. You can freeze it, and that's what I do. I take half of this now and I freeze half of it, and with half of it I make the lasagna, which is what I'm going to make with the rest of this now. But I will show you how to make the white sauce and put the lasagna together in different videos. So I hope that that is showing you a good way of making a traditional ragu. Saying that, I do think that the Italians put a lot more tomato in it than we do, but it is a really good sauce, guys, and once you've mastered the original sauce and the traditional sauce, you can pretty much make anything. So have fun, give it a try, let me know how it goes.